Welcome, welcome. Real Estate with Ryan in the house on a Saturday. So excited to be with you guys as we approach the days to Christmas. It is hard to believe, but the Coleman house is working on the tree. It's already up. We're working on the second tree. My wife is full holiday mode, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Christmas edition, I guess, a couple weeks before Christmas of Real Estate with Ryan. Busy last couple of weeks. So we're going to start off the show by always doing some congrats, some celebrations, and some thank you to our special clients. Congratulations to some pendings. Forest Circle, a couple days on the market, went pending. Congratulations to Cliff Road, record timing. That got on the market. Took a couple weeks, right, Nick? A couple weeks, and then we got it sold. New Clare Branch, sold it the first day. Something fell through with the buyers, had to put it back on the market a couple days and sold it again. So hoping second time's a charm. Congrats on 215 Con Kennon, the Shaws. They just officially closed not only on their sale, but the purchase of their new home over in Mallard Bay. Congrats on that one. Cove Lane down in the history books and sold. Congrats to them. Congratulations to Trout Road. So happy to work with her. Just a great client. Andrew Jackson Highway, congrats. And then we have some new listings. New cabin out in Cosby on Dewdrop Way. Cute little cabin out there on some acreage. You want to check that out. Crystal Lake, $1.5 million, right under $1.5 million. Sequoia, Rocky Hill area. Just a cool modern house. Something you see over on the West Coast. We've got a lot of activity and just hit the market here last week. So make sure you check that out. So we got a good show for you today. As always, it's the holiday season. So we start a little bit of holiday season and say, Ryan, well, the real estate market, what's going on in the holiday season? I don't know about you guys, but I kind of got the holiday mode where I just want to kind of sit back and by the fire and look at my pretty tree and just kind of relax. But literally, it's been from the crack of dawn to the evening. I can't even enjoy my tree or really spend much time with my family. So it's kind of bittersweet, but at the same time, we've got a lot of people to help. We got a lot of families to help. Just left a client today. You know, this is a business we're in. It kind of, is hard, where she just lost her husband for 44 years. And then her dad was 93 that passed away. So that brought a tear to my eye. And if nothing else, was an opportunity to meet a great young lady and help her through this journey. And it's a hard time. And the holidays time, especially if you lost a loved one during that time, is tough. So I know this year for me, every year is tough. I lost my mother, I think it was going on 13 years ago. Hard to believe. Lost her kind of fairly early. And the holidays are always tough for people. So, this year we have April's grandmother. She's 91 years old. Not only was she 91 years old, she battled COVID. And then, got out of the hospital, and now she's recovering in a nursing home. So our prayers out to Mama, as we call her. So just so much, everybody's got so much going on. And it is the season. Remember, with everything that's going on, to be kind to people. Take a moment away and just remember what the season's all about. So if you're thinking about selling, I'll get into my show, but you're going to want to definitely see the second half. So we're going to start here. Here's 7 things and great reasons why you want to sell during the holiday season. But then as you guys have watched the news and know what's going on, oh yeah, we're going to get a little political. We're going to get a little what's going on in the world in this crazy 2020 that we've got. So in the second part of the show, we're going to talk about everything that's going on in the presidential election. How does that affect the residential market? How does that affect the world? Will we even have one? We're going to talk more about that in the second half. So make sure you stay with us. I'll give you my take or just kind of let you know what's going on out there and kind of some thoughts. And if you're like most, you're watching what's going on in the world, so there's some fear, there's some anxiety. And I think if you're not feeling that, especially the news media does a great job of hyping it up, there's some unrest. And I don't care what market you're in. We're going to be getting into that and how will that affect the market? Well, believe it or not, the holiday season's here. And there's some reason to put your home on the market during the Christmas season. Number one, buyers are active now more than they ever have been active. Part COVID, part delay, part of low inventory. So there's more buyers now than you ever will see. I always like this opportunity during the season is that there's less competition. Some of the homes we sold last year, we've had to kind of work with our sellers. all the sellers that you talk to, you say, okay, we're going to wait to start putting the home on the market the first of the year, maybe January, maybe February. And I say, well, it's a great option. But ideally, the best opportunity is put it on the market where there's the most amount of buyers. But ideally, it's not the buyers because we're fluid. We've got so many buyers that we're working with now that are coming in and out of state and relocations. It's not a buyer problem. It's getting multiple offers problem. It's getting that price that makes sense. Well, there's limited inventory, but it's a given. As we approach January and February, there's going to be an increase in inventory. To what degree, we don't know. But right now, while December makes it a great time to put your home on the market, is that there's less competition than normal. I've got a stat here that goes on the amount of inventory throughout the year. And in December, the housing supply was negative 9% year over year. Last October was negative 19%. So just some thoughts there that during the holiday season, when your home is looking beautiful, have the tree, this is an emotional deal. You've heard me talk about it on the radio multiple times. There's something about that Thanksgiving and Christmas season as we approach into the holidays where the home is looking beautiful, has the tree, you bring the wife, you bring the family, it's got the location, everything that you're looking for. And you know what happens? You find the right one. You find that it house, that forever house. If it's your first house, it is your forever house now. You're coming out of an apartment or you're coming from living with family that we deal with, and you're super excited. And what's better for Christmas than a brand new house or your own house, your brand new house? So that's super exciting. There's no better gift than that. Keep in mind, just because it's on the holidays doesn't mean that we're showing all through the holidays. If you got a great agent that you're working with, we can restrict showings that make sure that certain times during the day and certain showings that make sense. It's getting dark early now. So 5 or 6 o'clock, it's getting dark. People are not showing late in the evenings. You're going to spend a lot of your time in the early afternoons and weekends, maybe some during the day. People have days off during the week if you're working shift work, things like that. So we see a lot of that movement to during the day. It's not interrupt that family time or if you're having guests over for the holiday. We talk about the decorating appeal has that appeal to most buyers. And believe it or not, we talk about the competition as across the whole. But this season, more than ever, I think just the holidays is the opportunity for people that are coming from these other states. It will kind of segue into what we're talking about, how that affects the real estate market. So remember this COVID that hit in May, those opportunities that were in the market, some states were not as lenient as Tennessee. Some states, as you can see, as I was watching the news yesterday, they're forcing you can't even go into your place of business. They're locking you up, getting Gestapo, mob-like stuff out there. So they're coming from different areas, and in some states, they can't get out of there quick enough. And so remember, but there was a process. Most of these people that we're working with just closed one on last week, and they have a home to sell. So a lot of these scenarios are coming in the marketplace where they have a home to sell. Maybe they're not going to put it on the market yet, but they can qualify with both. Or maybe it comes down where we got to go ahead and qualify for both, but maybe you're not getting the home or the price range that you need. So we need to go ahead and sell that home. So that rollover or domino effect from the market of, let's say, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, all right, California, where you're coming from, they have to wait for that home to sell. Well, they're selling over in the fall, and that gives us our holiday buyer. That gives us our buyers that we're seeing in droves in demand for our properties. Just not enough great properties out there during that time. So keep that in mind during that holiday season while there's an opportunity for Outlook to not only get a Christmas present, one of the greatest Christmas presents, get your new home, but to actually secure property. I always tell everybody that don't forget that at the end of the year, we're still seeing there's a lot of jobs and things that are transferring. Most of our corporate relocations, people coming in, they're coming in at the end of the year. Most of those guys are starting January and February. And how is that going to affect the housing market? Well, they got to find a place to live. Either they're renting or they're going to find housing. So not having your home on the market, even if it's on a coming soon status, could hurt you, could look out. What are we approaching in January? Well, we know in January, we're going to have that opportunity where a lot of homes that are in the forbearance stage, we're not sure what they're going to do with, any kind of stimulus bill, or are they going to do anything? More than likely, they probably won't do anything because they can't do anything over there if you watch those guys. So we can't count on that. Well, there's going to be a lot of properties that are delinquent in status, mortgage payments that were deferred due to COVID or job loss. They're going to come out of status, and those banks are going to put those in the open inventory. And so we got to watch that as we shop in the marketplace and see how that affects East Tennessee. Look, we're coming into the break. Stay with us. Don't want to miss the second half. Stay tuned.
Knoxville and East Tennessee. The region is known for its rolling hills, rivers, and lakes. There's no better place to work, live, or raise a family. Home is where your story begins. Buying or selling your home is a big decision, and you need a real estate team you can trust.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your hometown experts. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let us develop a winning game plan for you.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
Your friend promised we wouldn't be homeless.
He promised. He's doing everything to fix it.
You need to call and have him fix it now.
Hey, man.
Found us a house.
No, not yet. Let me call you back. We're working on it.
Ryan Coleman with Hometown
He
Realty.
says he's doing the best he can do, honey.
Well, he's taken too long. I knew we should have gone with Ryan Coleman.
Choosing the right agent is never easy.
Call your hometown experts. We'll take care of all the details and make sure you don't get stuck in a motel. All right, guys, welcome back. As you were staying with me in the beginning part of the show, we were talking about the holiday season and, of course, why it's a great time to purchase a home during the holiday season and Christmas time. What is a better present? I know some people are out there. I know a lot of people that we're working with. Some of our employees are getting, I won't say their name, they're getting a Christmas present. They're getting their new house. So what a better present that could be. A lot of people coming in, coming out. So congratulations to everybody that's getting a new home this Christmas. Super excited for you guys and be glad to be part of the process. So I said that the second half was going to be pretty good. Maybe it could be good, who knows? But I got some things on my mind. I usually don't get into political stuff, and I'm really not going to get into it. Whether you're right, left, middle, I don't really care which side you are. Either side, you can never win. So I don't ever try to get too political here, because if I do, I'm going to get the other side to just destroy me. I try not to get into it. But today, I'm going to get a little bit into it, talk about the housing market and how a prolonged U.S. election result could hamper and fall a housing market. So we're going to tie into that and then kind of just let you know what we're thinking, what we're seeing. I can tell you before I even go into the topic, we talk about real estate as a whole, right? Real estate or just consumers in general. It comes from consumer confidence, right? Consumer confidence, if people feel good about things, they're going to buy things. If people don't feel good about things, they restrict, they retract. And in any kind of market that makes sense, you have to have an opportunity where people feel good. They feel like they're going to have their jobs. They feel like they can go spend money for Christmas, that they can go out and do the things that they need to do, right? Without the fear of loss or companies being shut down. Or, just not spending beyond their means. We need to always do that, right? But holiday seasons, we tend to kind of go, we splurge a little bit because we're in the mood. It's an emotional thing. And, we want to give our loved ones, at least I'll give my little ones, we want to give them some of the things that they want. Kinsley wants a Barbie dream house, whatever the world that is, some big old house. And I said, well, what is that? She was like, Daddy, my dolls can play. It has a pool. It has all this cool stuff. Well, I'm super excited for her because I will get the chance to play Barbie dollhouse with her because she will drag me in there and we'll do that. But those are things that, you get excited. You want to give your gifts. But when we're not feeling the economy, when we're getting panicked, when we're getting fear, and that's a lot of what the news is going on is fear and anxiety. So if you've been following the news, obviously the presidential election has drawn out for some time. As this approaches, will be over 30 days. I don't care who you're for or not, but obviously this is something we've never seen before. Is there fraud? Is there not fraud? And where do we stand as a country? You got the news media. And if you're objective, you look at it and it's kind of scary. So, if you're watching all the testimony, you got all these people that are coming on and they're making these statements. And again, whether you're right or left, if you just listen to it, you really have to just look at it and say, okay, are these people legitimate? You know, if you listen to the news, you think everything's fake news, and Trump's, President Trump, excuse me, is whining about the election. But then you start listening to everything. You say, well, is that really the case or not? And you start looking to it and say, well, who are all these people? And I was watching last night, and I'm kind of involved into it a lot because, most importantly, I love this country. And a lot of people love this country. And why it's important is because how I can sit here and talk to you today, as a lot of people have talked about the freedoms of what this country and what we have to offer. And I think a lot of that's on the table this year of will we have that? I mean, I think you've seen over years and years that we've progressed to go, will we even have a country? I saw an article the other day that said, that the machines were purchased by China for $400 million. Is that true? I don't know. Is it true? Is it not true? But to even think of that it's very scary. Not just as scary for me, but I have kids and you guys have kids. How is that going to affect our futures? And, whether you're watching the rallies or you're watching people testify that, they've come to this great country from other places because of the opportunity. And I think we're in a crisis mode where there could be a chance of that being stripped away. And so I don't know where you're at in business or where you're at in life, but I can sit here and talk about real estate, but it really won't matter if we don't have a country. Because I can tell you if fear and anxiety, and I've got on the table, if we're talking about martial law, what in the world we're talking about martial law? Those are things not good for the real estate market. Let me just tell you that's a good sign that you could forget the for sale sign. It's panic mode. And unfortunately, nobody wants to realize that's here. A lot of times during this last, say, 12 months, we've watched history. But then the last couple of weeks, we really watched and I know we've heard a lot of things that are just, you can't really believe it. It doesn't even sound real, right? Some things concern me because you're seeing the censorship, you're seeing news media, whether it's social or big tech, and you're seeing these things restricted. Whether it's true or not, the great opportunity is we can get on here, give us our opinion, give us our facts, put it out there. I mean, ultimately, it's up to what the public, right? The American people decide. But you're seeing probably more than ever that there is a pressure for that not to happen. We talk about the real estate market, or we've talked about the first quarter of the show, where they literally are coming on the news and they're showing a gentleman coming out of his work, that the governor says you can't go to work. You can't go in your building. They're arresting them like Gestapo. You may not be paying attention to that, but it really is a time to arise and wake up and understand where we're at in this time. And it's easy to watch the news media because if you watch it, they got their spin on it. I watch a certain type of news. I'm going to mention it because, you'll know what side I'm on. But we listen to a certain news. Well, they'll feed you this type of propaganda. Then you'll listen to other news, you get a little bit more of this propaganda. But you're seeing that they're all aligned now, and they're all have a narrative of this is the way it's going forward. I think we all want what's fair is whether you elect a president of the U.S., you have House representatives, congressmen, whoever you vote for, you want to have that opportunity as the people. Like that's what we're here for. That's what we're all about. And once you start losing confidence in the election, start losing confidence in our government and authorities, where are we at as a country? Where are we at as people? I think you're seeing a lot of opportunity now that people, patriots across the country are standing up. People will not allow this to happen. Like I said, there's articles talking about martial law. What in the world is going to happen? I don't think we know. I think we are in a time that is a sense of unrest of where we're going to go. I know in several things, news media, you're seeing there's all kinds of sites that you can see, but where do you turn for truth? I don't know if there's even the truth out there anymore. It's hard to really find. I know a lot of the news articles and things that we're finding, you're not going to find those on the mainstream media. You're finding that a lot of grassroots content or reporting is by individuals across the U.S. Does that mean that the media is involved in it? Don't know. Does that mean that they're true, or you don't know what to do? And that's the challenge, obviously, other than pray for our country and pray that all this gets worked out. We do know who's in control, of course. But as a time like this, as we go what's going on, it really makes you pause and wonder where we're at, especially for our kids, especially for our families, and where is everything going? I'm not sure if we have the answer. We talked about the housing market as a whole. I'll kind of get back to that a little bit, but 34% of the homes in October were pending, right? And they're 16% higher than last year. Part of the article talks about that even with this election being drawn out, that there's still consumer confidence, but a lot of the luxury market has put a brake on it, put a hold on it until they see what's going on. I don't know, but if you're like me, I'm rooting for America. I'm not rooting for a side. I'm rooting for our country. And the last couple of weeks have been troubling. You know, if you're not watching that information and you're watching the news media, what's troubling is the news media is telling you how these people are just lying and incorrect. And I think it's far from the truth. And it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. And probably that there is some funny business, if you can see it, that's putting it mildly, about our election. And that's troubling times. So, you know, what I would encourage to do is, look for other media sources, look for outside the main news, watch how the articles are spent. But at the end of the day, it is a holiday season. We are coming on Christmas. I think everybody needs to stick close to their family. And obviously pray for this country, pray for what's going on, pray for our leaders. And we know who's in control, and this too shall pass, but it is troubling and it is nerve-wracking. At least I am nerve-wracked by everything that goes on. But next week we'll talk about some real estate. We won't talk much politics, but I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. If you need me, it's an easy number. It's 693-7653 or ryancoleman.org. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next weekend.